The horrific experience of living in a murderous house by mistake. Today we are going to talk about a series of terrifying experiences after the family strayed into the murderous house. Around 2000, due to her father's job transfer, my sister's family moved into a small building on the outskirts of Nanjing. The location of the house is truly unique, and it is located in the middle of the city's crematorium and cemetery. After the girl who had stolen 2 numbers moved into that small building, she began a thrilling and dangerous life. First of all, a white puppy that their family has raised for a long time has been inexplicably manic since he lived in the small building, whimpering and barking, and it took more than a week before he gradually calmed down. 5 years later, the puppy died, and all sorts of bizarre and terrifying things began to play out in turn. First of all, the sister's mother, who was watching TV at home on a dog day, suddenly shouted cold. As we all know, Nanjing is a famous furnace city, and people can't wait to turn on the air conditioner 24 hours a day in the summer. The sister's mother felt that this might not be normal. The girl and her father thought that her mother had a cold and fever. So she stopped watching TV and went to bed to lie down and take her temperature. Who knew that the girl's mother had just struggled to stand up? And before she could take a few steps, the crystal chandelier hanging overhead smashed down and landed where the girl's mother was sitting just now. Is just 1 step away. If the sister's mother gets up 2 seconds late, she will have a mild concussion if she is not smashed on the head and the blood flow is broken. It's dangerous. The Grim Reaper is coming didn't dare to shoot like this. It's only been 3 days since this incident, and the kitchen of my sister's house caught fire in the middle of the night. The fire spread quickly, but fortunately, there was a vehicle-mounted fire extinguisher at home to respond to the emergency, so it did not cause excessive damage and casualties. Coincidentally, the original car fire extinguisher was lost in the car for many years, and it was about to grow hair. On the day of the fire, my sister, his father, saw how it was not pleasing to the eye, and finally took it out and put it at the door of his house. Unintentional moves saved the whole family. Afterwards, the girl's father wittily analyzed the cause of the accident, and said that it must have been a hole in the gas pipe that the rat had gnawed on. And the two of them are convinced that they are really not a family, and they don't enter a family. The rat said they didn't carry the pot. Not long after, the girl experienced a wave of life and death, and the whole family realized that this house has a great origin. The sister's family lives on the 2nd floor of this small building, and there is a small platform at the bottom, and people who go upstairs have to cross the platform to turn upstairs. One night, at about 2 o'clock, the girl was calling friends to fight in the World of Warcraft, and was suddenly disturbed by a quarrel from the small platform outside. At that time, the girl felt that the 2 people were furious, and they scolded each other fiercely, but no matter how hard she tried to listen, she couldn't tell what the 2 sides were saying. Finally, the girl was annoyed by the complete noise, and said, "Hey, my temper!" I picked up a glass of water on the table, opened the window and poured down. The world was silent in an instant, silent and silent, so that the girl suspected that she was hallucinating while playing the game. Late the next night, the noise started again. The noisy girl wanted to play a game and couldn't concentrate, and she wanted to go to sleep but couldn't sleep. She angrily opened the window to look down, but only saw the thick silence of the night, and the small platform was empty, and there was no one. The girl thought that the quarrelsome person went upstairs down the stairs, and she didn't think much about it at the moment, so she went to sleep without mentioning it. The next day was the weekend, and the sister's family went to a family party. During the banquet, the girl's expression was different. And everyone saw that she was listless and didn't say a word. Didn't move her chopsticks and didn't eat anything, so she sat in a daze. Everyone thought she was tired from sleeping. So the sister-in-law's brother-in-law hurriedly ordered the driver to take her home to rest. The sister said that she is still grateful to the driver named Xiao Li in her heart, because she found that her face was pale, and she didn't respond to asking her to pull. Xiao Li sent the sister home and notified her parents as soon as possible. By the time the girl's parents hurried home, she had a fever of at least 41 degrees. So why did she say at least? Because the mercury column on the thermometer has soared to the top. It has already shown the highest value. Was so frightened that the girl's parents rushed her to the hospital. After a series of examinations and tests, the doctor confirmed that the girl was suddenly infected with a viral herpes, which is not dangerous for children and is very troublesome for adults once infected. For 3 days in a row, the girl had a fever during the day, and at night she had a high fever again. And the doctor said that if she couldn't control her body temperature, her sister would be in danger of burning her brain. Later, the girl was basically in a coma, and she repeated a nightmare every day that she was trapped in a room. And many shadowy things shaped like crows and bats rushed into her mouth and nose. Even in the dream, the girl gradually felt obstructed and suffocated, and she couldn't breathe. Just when she felt that she was about to settle the account, the sister vaguely saw 2 black shadows guarding the bedside to coax and scold those strange birds. At the moment of seeing the black shadows, although the extreme pain could not be spoken, the sister instantly burst into tears. She recognized that it was her deceased grandfather and grandfather, the 2 people who loved her the most in her life. Gradually, the strange birds became fewer and fewer, and finally disappeared, and the dark shadows of Grandpa and Grandpa disappeared. In her dream, she heard the sound of chanting outside the door. So she stood up and tried to pull the door opened. And she was trapped for more than 10 days in her dream. And she could finally get out of the small room that symbolized death. The moment she opened the door in her dream, the girl finally opened her eyes and answered the doctor with a clear mind. Her parents hugged her and shed tears of excitement, and said that her cousin had heard that her illness was strange. So he specially sent prayer flags invited from Tibet. It was the day when the prayer flag was hung at the head of the bed. And the girl heard the sound of chanting in her dream and struggled to wake up. Soon after they were cured and discharged from the hospital, the family moved out of the small building, where strange and frightening things were frequent. The girl has a huge psychological shadow on that building, and she can still go around and hide as she can. However, it is precisely because of the 5 years of being murdered that the Stolen 2 girl firmly believes that some invisible and incomprehensible forces in this world are real. Some will harm people, and some can save people. In the days to come, no matter how many hardships and obstacles she experiences, she is depressed and tired, even if she is stolen n numbers. The girl will not completely despair from the bottom of her heart, because she knows that there are 2 unwavering figures guarding her. Always, always.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and put notification on to watch more videos. If you have similar experience, please comment and let me know your experience.